Alright, so this video is for UXW Bill. I've been meaning to show you our ancient furnace down in our dungeon of a basement here. Ow! Anyways, so yeah, this is our basement. It's it has a bunch of junk here, and we need to get rid of that, as well as some moving boxes which may or may not get used. But this is our big furnace from 1986 according to this label here. And actually, I think I can turn a light on my camera. Alright, so my iPhone flash does work. Anyways, this furnace apparently was put in April 28th of 1986 by whoever that guy is from Union Gas. And it's a very old furnace, which you can see here. And we've been having it thoroughly inspected every year since 2014. And according to our heating guy, our furnace isn't too bad. It says it's 75.7% efficient. So that's not too bad at all. But yeah, considering the age of this furnace, we definitely need to have it checked every year. It is made from a company called Grimsby, which was a Canadian company. No longer see them anymore. Now, if I remember correctly, this furnace produces 160,000 BTUs, which we will find out if I can just get this vent open. Alright, so I got the vent open here. I'm not really sure why the screen is white on the other side. I think the case is reflecting the light. But anyways, we can take a quick peek here at the information. My camera can focus. There we go. So according to this thing, alright, I was quite a bit off. So this thing, the output of this is 137,560 BTUs, which is quite a lot for a furnace. You can also see the burners underneath here, which we have 5 of them, and they pretty much stretch half the length of this furnace, I believe. And when this thing goes, you can hear the flames come on from upstairs. That is how powerful this thing is. Pretty much everything here is original. I did replace the thermocouple a number of times throughout the year. The little rust hole open up here, that's why this little panel is here to cover that up, to keep that from heating up the gas line, which wouldn't be good. Not sure if my iPhone can pick this up, but that humming noise you can kind of hear is actually the pilot light, which is somewhere underneath here. Should be right there, but unfortunately you can't see the flame since it's hidden underneath some panel. See, we do have it inspected and cleaned every year. It's pretty clean underneath where the furnace exchanger is. But yeah, that's a quick glimpse of the burners for our giant furnace here. Now, we also have central air somehow installed in there. I don't know how they did it, but I'm assuming there's like some sort of coil inside this vent, which is where the air conditioning goes, and the blower blows the hot air, or the cold air, sorry, out. But that's why there's this white pipe coming out for the water to escape from the air conditioner coils. So here's the other view from this side of the furnace. Nothing too much to see. That's where the air filters and stuff are. Here's a quick peek of the fan motor and everything. This furnace takes 20 by 20 inch filters, one here and the one on the top here. It's a pretty odd configuration. I'm not sure why they designed it like this, but I suppose it works. The fan is quite obvious. It's pretty original to the furnace. However, the motor here is fairly new. I think we replaced it probably around 10 years ago. I'm guessing the older one burnt out or something. But yeah, that's the new motor. And there's the belt. And again, we have the service every year, so they oil this thing up, ensure the belt is in working order, no cracks or anything like that. And yeah, that's the inside of the furnace. Anyways, that's a quick look at our furnace here at UXW Bill. Hopefully you enjoy this a little bit. Basically, we have looked into getting a new furnace because this is old. But the problem is they don't make furnaces this big anymore. I think the highest is probably around 100,000 BTUs, maybe even less. Our alternative was from the local plumbers is to actually put 2 smaller furnaces and have them run simultaneously. So that's also an option there. But for now, I think we'll probably keep this one sticking around just because it works. It works pretty well. It heats up the floors upstairs very quickly, and the fact that this thing has lasted for 30 years now is quite a feat, you could say. The thing with new furnaces, as most of you know, is the fact that nothing's built to last long anymore. Washing machines, dishwashers, and of course residential furnaces here. But basically, they say a new one, you can get at least 10 years out of it, and then you're in the market for another one. Whereas this one here lasted for almost 30 years. Every time we have this checked, we of course we have the heat exchanger inspected, and so far no cracks or anything like that. So as long as those things don't crack, then we can keep going with this furnace. But if there's a crack or something like that, then of course we're gonna have to be forced to change this, since you can't run a furnace with a cracked heat exchanger, since that could potentially leach carbon monoxide gases into the home, which is not good. Anyways, cool little history about this basement here. Originally, before this furnace, there was an oil-fired furnace, which you can see here. There's some pieces. There's a big piece right over there. If we come over here, there's actually some more pieces of the original, you could say, old furnace, which was an oil-fired furnace. Over there used to be two large oil tanks that fed into the furnace, but yeah, a lot of remnants from it. And the reason it sits down here is just because all these pieces are so heavy. It's all cast iron, so that's mainly why all this is down here. And when we moved here, all this was pretty much here. Anyways, that is a kind of quick look at the dungeon or basement. We got a couple upgrades here too, if you guys want to see that. First off, water softener. This is a brand new water softener that we installed last year. We never had one, and considering we have hard water, a lot of lime and calcium deposits, we definitely needed these. And we needed this first because we were in the market for water heaters. Now, I can't remember how many grains this is. I think this is 80,000 grains, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But it's a fairly large one, a little bit above average than your traditional water softener for the home. That being said, quick advice for those of you who get a brand new water softener, always stick to this head here. It's from a company called Myers. And the nice thing about this head here is that it's an analog style one, which lasts a lot longer than digital ones or electronic ones. So if you're in the market for a water softener, ask your plumber to put this head on, because this will not give you as many headaches as those new fancy electronic ones. Almost forgot, there's one more thing I wanted to show you guys. This is also new. It's attached into our piping system, obviously. This is called a water expansion tank. I believe this is an 8-gallon one, maybe 10-gallon, not sure. But we just got this installed along with the water heaters. And basically what the purpose of this is for is that when you have gas heaters, particularly the water heaters, when you heat water, the water expands a little bit. And when it expands, it puts a little bit more pressure on your water or your plumbing system. And that could actually damage or put stress on your plumbing system, which is not really that great, because it could blow a pipe, particularly the connectors to your toilet, since they're normally made of plastic. And what this water expansion tank does is that there's a rubber bladder on the inside that is filled to roughly the same PSI as your normal PSI in your water system. And if the pressure gets a little bit higher, the tank kind of compensates for that. I don't know the exact technical terms of how it all works, but that's the purpose of this tank. And in my area, it's law to have this, so I didn't even know about that. But they're fairly inexpensive, around 50, 60 bucks depending on the size. I was going to put it in myself with shark bites, but I figured the amount of money I spend on shark bites is going to be almost the same price as a plumber putting this in. So we just went with the same plumber and put this tank in. So that's why this cylinder thing is here, is to prevent our plumbing system from being overstressed from having two water heaters heating up the water. And speaking about the water heaters, yes, we got brand new water heaters here, which you can see they're from a company called A.O. Smith, and our plumber said, you know, this is a good brand. I believe it's made in the States. We installed these this year because we finally got the water softeners. Our old ones were from a company called Reliance, and we rented them. In Canada here, renting water heaters is actually a little bit common, and unfortunately, it is pretty much a scam, because these things are less than $1,000 for a standard 40-gallon one. So I'm kind of upset at the parents for renting water heaters all this time. But now we bought these ones, we own these ones, and we're saving money from renting. So that's a nice thing. So we have two of them here. They are 40 gallons, and they're also conventional style water heaters, which is pretty much a dying breed. We got conventional ones just because it was a little bit more financially feasible. Basically, if you got the high efficiency ones, we would have to run a new pipe all the way through the wall, since the high efficiency ones don't use a chimney, whereas this is already set up for conventional ones. So that's why we got the conventional water heaters. But the main thing why I liked the conventional ones over the new energy efficient ones is because they don't require electricity. These use a pilot light underneath here. And this light, there's a little bit of electricity in this box here, but that's produced from the pilot light. And in short, the reason why I like this setup better is because if the power goes out, these water heaters will still work. They're going to run off the gas, and the gas, you know, it doesn't run on electricity. It's in the pipes already. So if the power goes out, I still have my hot shower. While everyone else who has high efficiency fancy water heaters, they don't get that luxury. So that's one of the nice things about conventional water heaters, is that you don't rely on electricity. You pay a little bit more to run a little pilot light, but personally, I think that's a little bit more better and reliable than the high efficiency ones. You can see here the conventional ones work by just letting the gas rise up naturally through the pipes and into the chimney. So anyways, that is a quick look at the furnace and a couple new things that we have in this basement here. Hope you enjoyed this UXW build. Been subscribed to you since I think around 2008 when you uploaded that old cold forgotten Buick video. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next vid.